Split testing ad creative is one of the most fundamental and basic and important things that you can do as an advertiser inside of your ad account, inside of every ad campaign. Now, the reason for this is that we want to get to a place where we have identified our winning ad, the one that performs the best for us at achieving our goals. So in this video, we're going to talk about a few different reasons about why you would and when you would split test ad creative. We're going to look at how to actually implement that inside of Meta's Ads Manager. And then we're going to take a look at how to analyze those results so that we can best determine that winning ad that we're looking for. Okay, so the most common reason that you would want to split test ad creative, first and foremost, is if you have a new ad account. Now, if you have a brand new ad account and you've never really run any ads in your life, or at least not inside of this account, you have no idea what's going to work. And especially if you have a new product or service or business or new music or whatever that you are promoting, you're not going to know specifically what's going to work for this exact iteration of what it is you're doing. So it's important to try multiple options. A secondary reason is if you're just starting a new campaign for a new product or service or song or release or piece of merch or whatever inside of your ad account, you want to try different options there again. Now, if you're like me and you've run a lot of ads in your life, you might have a pretty good idea of what will work for your audience or for your product or for your service or whatever. And so you have a more educated guess as to where to begin. But if you've run ads for a long time, then you know just as I do that what you think will work isn't always what definitely will work, which is why split testing ad creative is still very, very important no matter how long you've been doing this. And you can split test a lot of different variables inside your ads. You can split test the text. You can split test images or video. You can split test the audio track. This is especially important if you are promoting music, using different sections of the song to determine which one grabs people the best. And a third reason is simply that ad creative becomes stale. If you run a winning ad long enough after you've found it, eventually it's going to run into creative fatigue, especially if you don't have any other options inside of that ad set. Like if you're running one campaign with one ad set and one ad, given enough time, you're going to get that little creative fatigue icon inside of the ads manager, and you're going to need to introduce something new to eliminate creative fatigue, give more options for your audience, and potentially maybe find something that is a better winner or more effective winning ad than the one that you've been running already. Okay, so let's talk about how to do this. To do this, we're going to start a new campaign. We're going to select an engagement campaign and go continue. We're going to go with a manual setup. Now, we're not going to do every single step in this process. If you want to go through more of the process of setting up the campaign level and the ad set level, I did a video about something similar in split testing ad sets and targeting last week, and I'll leave a link to that in the description of this video if you want to go check that out. If you want to go catch up on that and come back, we'll start at the ad level here. So we're going to go ahead and jump to the ad level here inside of this campaign. Okay, so we've dropped in a video, we've dropped in our URL, we've changed the call to action to listen now, and we've added a little bit of text that says listen on Spotify. This first ad is set up pretty straightforward. We won't go through all the details of this, but the first thing we want to do to run our split test is we want to duplicate this ad. So I'm going to go to the ad title up here. I'm going to select the three dots to the right of it, and I'm going to select quick duplicate. So now we have a copy of the ad. Now it's time to determine the variable we want to split test in this case. So in this case, what I'm going to do to showcase it more effectively here is I'm not going to split test the section of the song in this ad. I'm going to split test the cover art in this ad. So now I have two separate ads here. The first one is this ad here that has the original single cover art, the call to action, the Spotify icon, the animation, the text, the song section, all that is exactly the same. And then if I come here to the second ad, I have everything that's exactly the same from the first one except for the cover art. So that's the only variable that I've changed that I want to test to figure out which one of those performs better. Now, the reason I like to isolate this variable like this is it allows me one measurable thing that I can determine whether or not that is the winning combination. So in this case, it's the cover art. Now, once I determine which of these images does better for the ad, now I can move forward to using that specific visual creative and then split testing different sections of the song alongside that to determine the best visual and then the best section of the song that will perform most effectively in my ad and actually getting traffic over to Spotify. Now, if you're doing something like a music video or a vertical video or something like that, this might be a little bit different because you're going to have different video content over different sections of the song. So you don't have to split test the visual creative separate from the audio. You can just split test different sections of that video until you find the section that you think works the best, or that the data tells you works the best. And the best way to figure that out is to comb through the results once you have enough data inside of your campaign. So to understand how this works, we're going to take a look at one of my recent campaigns and how I did some split testing and still am doing some split testing to determine my winning ad. So here we're inside of my ads manager again. We've got 4 ads inside of this one ad set inside of this one campaign. Now in this campaign, what I did originally was I split tested the ad set targeting, narrowed it down to 1, and now I'm split testing different ads, ad creative inside of that ad set. Again, if you want to learn more about how to split test ad set targeting, you can go check out the video at the link in the description of this video to learn more about that and that setup process and how that all works. So back to this, at the ad level here, you can see I've run 4 ads for this, 2 of which are still on, one of which is very obviously the clear winner, which is this ad for Hero-01. It's got almost all of the results. It's got the lowest cost per result, and it even has the lowest click-through rate, oddly enough, but the click-through rate is still healthy. I look at this in order of cost per result, number of results, then I look at click-through rate, and then I look at cost per impression. Obviously, this ad has the lowest cost per impression, which is why it has the highest number of results. I started out split testing 2 different versions of the cover art for this, and once I determined the winner there, then I started split testing 2 different songs, and then once I determined the winner there, I started split testing a second version of this song with the other cover art alongside the winning ad, and I'm still testing that. Obviously, this ad for Hero is still the clear winner, but with any good split test, I always like to be testing something. Going all the way down to 1 ad and staying there is very rare, at least in my experience. I don't like to do that. I always like to have another option that I'm testing alongside the winner. That way I run less of a risk of hitting that creative fatigue warning inside the ad platform. And also, many times I have seen this reverse and flip given enough time. So this ad for Hero might win for a long time, but eventually that ad for Lions might end up taking over and winning too. And you'll have that happen over a long enough period of time as that original winning ad runs into creative fatigue. More budget will start to get put into the other ad. And if it performs well or close to as well as the winning ad, then you have a system that can kind of ping pong back and forth between these 2 ads, both of which can continue to generate results for you without you having to make too many updates along the way. So the real name of the game here is always continuing to test. Now, I like to test ad set targeting initially, but once I have that dialed in, I generally don't do a ton of testing with that inside of an existing campaign. After that, it all comes down to testing ad creative. Now, I'm always going to test new ad creative for new songs I release when I'm promoting music. I'm going to test new ad creative for every campaign I introduced, a whole slew of other different things. This process doesn't really stop for me. For any of the artists I help, we're always testing new creative. We're always split testing to find better results. So that's it for this video. Now, if you enjoyed this and you want to go deeper with topics just like this every single week, then I hope you'll subscribe to my newsletter, The One Thing. Every Tuesday, I send out one thing that I am either thinking about or testing to succeed as an independent artist. So if you do want to subscribe to that, I'll leave a link to do so in the description of this video. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.